Hi guys and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in today's episode, injury concerns for the Dragons and Warriors, Rhinos and Wolves lose player ban appeals and suffer worse fates, but promising news from round one's attendances figures. As we know, this weekend there was a lot of red cards and sin binnings due to new rugby league rules by the RFL to help cut down in a number of head contacts within the sport. Rugby Football League issued out their penalty notices, and two clubs, Leeds Rhinos and Warrington Wolves, decided that their two stars bans should be appealed. They decided to appeal for James Bentley's ban of 3 matches and Oliver Holmes' ban for 1 match to the RFL disciplinary committee so that all the details could be hashed out and a fair agreement in their eyes could be reached. In Bentley's case, he was slapped with a 3-match ban for a grade C high tackle, and the Rhinos challenged the grading of the offence. However, this was rejected in a further blow, an additional game ban was added to the suspension due to the challenge being deemed frivolous. It is news that is likely to incense the Rhinos hierarchy, who had carefully contemplated whether to appeal the ban. As a result, Bentley now misses 4 matches, which will see him miss games against Wigan, Catalans, Wakefield Trinity and Hull FC. Bentley was dismissed after the 16th minute into his debut due to a high tackle on Warrington half-back Gareth Widdop. The Rhinos eventually lost the match 22 points to 20 despite playing over an hour with a man less. They will now be without Bentley for the foreseeable future, a blow to Richard Agar and his plans for the opening round of Super League. In the same match, Oliver Holmes was sin-binned for a high tackle and it was upgraded to a 1-match ban due to the headshot being taken into account. But in the appeal, Oliver Holmes has been banned for 2 matches by the disciplinary panel after a failed appeal. Chris Kendall sent off the Leeds man and dished out 2 more yellow cards in what was a thoroughly entertaining but tempestuous game. Oliver Holmes pleaded guilty to the charge of careless high tackle, but was found guilty of a reckless high tackle by the tribunal. The 1-match ban for that stands, with another added for a frivolous challenge. Holmes was also given a £500 fine. As a result, Holmes will miss Warrington's match against his former club Castleford, as well as their trip to Toulouse at the end of the month. So in this crackdown, there was fines issued out, which Bentley also received, also at £500. So their tribunal, even though there are strict rules on the pitch and the referee is doing his best to control it using common sense, the tribunal are saying the sendings off didn't go far enough and added extra match bans onto these games. It's a weird one. Hopefully all the players will control themselves a little better and these bans become less and less. As if rugby league is tough enough, especially with first round injuries, Wigan is set to have problems in their backline once again, as Matt Peet, their coach, has confirmed that centre Ian Thornley will be sidelined with injury following Wigan's victory over Hull KR. The Wigan head coach has confirmed that the centre will miss up to 2 months of action due to an ankle injury. Thornley, who returned to the club during the off-season, limped off the field at Craven Park following a tackle made by Albert Vete. The Hull KR forward has since received a 2-match ban for a Grade C dangerous contact on the Warrior in the 24-10 game against Wigan Warriors. During his media duties, Pete confirmed the news. He said he's got a Grade 2 syndesmosis, which is probably 2 months, around 8 weeks. It's really upsetting for Ian personally. He worked very hard in pre-season. I think I mentioned before, he was one of the shining lights in pre-season. On a personal level, I'm disappointed for Ian. I thought he'd given himself the best chance to hitting the ground running in the season. Syndesmotic and interosseous ligament is high on the ankle and is known as a high ankle sprain. But a Grade 2 involves the disruption of the anterior and deep deltoid ligaments, as well as a tear in the significant portions of the syndesmosis, resulting in an unstable ankle that is normally aligned on non-stressed radiographs. So the other part of the injury is the deep deltoid ligaments, which is, do you see the blue on the other side of the ankle about here? With the white bit that goes across the ankle? That's the deep deltoid ligament. So if it's ruptured that, it's a lot of surgery, but at this point it seems like that it's just rest at this point, as it's more of a strain. 2 months, it's a tough injury, but it's not the only injury that's gone on during this weekend. Catalans Dragons forward Julian Busquets has fractured his right arm, according to reports. What they are saying is that he has fractured his left forearm in what's called a displaced fracture, and the scans confirmed this, and the injury now requires surgery, with Busquets due to see the surgical team tomorrow in Montpellier. The big French forward suffered the injury in the Catalan Dragons' defeat against St Helens, and it wasn't the only major blow for the Dragons, as they're already without live wire fullback Artur Morgs, who's been ruled out for weeks, and now have lost one of their key forwards for weeks as well. Gil Dudson and Dylan Napper have also been referred to tribunal for punching charges at this weekend's disciplinary match review panel. It means that Steve McNamara could be without 3 of his most imposing forwards for a hefty chunk of the opening rounds of Super League. So it's going to be a tough start to the season for Catalans, and with hopes to going one step further in this year's Super League, to be without 3 big forwards. And they can't expect Sam Cassiano to do all the heavy lifting himself. So it's going to be a tough start. But hopefully for the 2 players that are injured, the injuries will progress quicker than normal, so that they can get back and playing ASAP. Now, while on the field, there has been some bits and pieces of controversy, shall we say that, during this opening round of Super League games, with bans, etc. coming to the fore. There has been some positive news off the field, as the opening Super League weekend saw an average of 9,695 people attend Super League games during the 6 games on show. A total of 58,173 fans attended the opening round of fixtures, with 13,108 attending Saints' home game victory at the Totally Wicked Stadium, the opening game of 2022. The last time that the Super League had a full fixture list with fans in attendance was 2019, where there was a total opening round of 56,736 people in attendance, with an average of 9,456. So levels after the pandemic have seemed to have stabilised for clubs, but round 2 will be the acid test, with most of the big teams going to away games, while people like Wigan turn up at home. One of the success stories in terms of off-the-field attendances and things like that are Castleford Tigers, as they got the third highest attendance of the weekend at the Menderholz Jungle. Despite defeat, the promising signs for Castleford are that they had they recorded a 10,500 sellout for their first game in 2022. Hull KR's clash with Wigan also took a decent crowd, with 9,044 people in attendance at Craven Park, but that seems to be a bit down compared to previous years. The year that I mentioned, it was 12,008 that the Craven, actually it was the whole derby, so it was nearly 15,000, so local derby spoils and everything like that. But the biggest crowd of the weekend went to Leeds versus Warrington, despite the 12:30 kickoff, and also despite it being on terrestrial TV. So that is good numbers to start off with the Leeds fans coming out in droves, with a 14,135 in attendance, and also Warrington fans coming from their own stadium, with the club putting on special price coach trip for the game. So this initial look at opening round fixtures seems like that there is murmurings and possible excitement that Super League is getting back to the levels that they were pre-pandemic. I know other clubs have been looking at, see our whole video from previously, losses of around about 1 million to 1.25 million for the last 12 months, which they're going to announce, but attendances are there. I think it's more the fact that they're getting weekly paychecks and paying out that way, rather than committing with the bills and the measures that are going on in the UK at this moment, with price rises in energy, council tax, rent, interest rates, shopping going up and up and up. So Super League fans are going to be a bit more in moderation, but week one seems like that it's going to be healthy for Super League this year. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and also share this video worldwide so that we can get the word out for Rugby League, as well as clicking the notification bell for any updates you may see from Rugby League or this channel. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on today's episode? Do you think the bans were issued because of historic incidents, or are they being tougher than what they should be on bans? I feel that they are. The referee's doing a job and doing a job to a level, and the grading should be kept to what the referees thought, but the panel are trying to stamp it out even further, aren't they? These high tackles are an issue, so they've got to jump on them. But 4 matches ban for Bentley, that's a bit high. Holmes, 2 matches, again, maybe a bit high, but it's the world that we're living in Rugby League at this point. The rules have to be followed. Attendances are quite promising for this year. Hopefully that continues and the trend goes up and up for all the Rugby League fans turning up to their games and enjoying the games. But Wigan losing Thornley and Busquets, a big loss for Catalans. Like I said, Wigan's backline had been suffering last year due to injuries and also retirements of players like Dom Manfredi. They can't be playing second rowers in the centres and centres as wingers. They need a bit of an outball. Hopefully the players that they've got now will keep fit. and it produces a chance for Zach Hardacre to get back into the team. Julian Busquets injury. Catalans are down to the bare bones when it comes to forwards now. Like I said, Sam Cassiano's expected to do all the work. Hopefully not. And they can get a couple of forwards in from their squad, hopefully. Like Young Chan or someone like that. Don't know. But it's going to be tough in the first few weeks without these players. Anyway, remember to please share this video worldwide. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.